Hello everyone, and yes, you have read the correct title. This is not a joke. I'm not pulling a fast one. It is a New Music Tuesday, and I have no idea why Rain wants to be here all of a sudden, but she does, and she's right here at my feet. Oh, here comes Bailey. Anyway, yeah, this is a New Music Tuesday. It's my first one since the end of April. I went on a hiatus, and the way that I would like to reintroduce this series is Ariana Grande. I need to talk about her new album, and I know there are a lot of people that wanted me to talk about her new album because of what I talked about in regards to her last album. I'm not going to do New Music Tuesday every week. That I have finally come to the conclusion. I just can't, it'll be inauthentic or unauthentic, whatever the word is, if I do it that way. So I'm only going to do it when I feel inspired. And Ariana Grande inspires me because I'm really, 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 really rough on that girl. So let's get into the New Music Tuesday. Here's the album cover, and I'm going to leave it up here the entire video. So let's go! So yesterday, August 25th, Ariana Grande released her sophomore album, My Everything. This is obviously sophomore, her second album since her first one debuted almost a year ago. Right off the bat, I'm typically not a fan of people who release albums back to back like that. That's what kind of turned me off about Rihanna, mainly because I didn't see any growth during that time. I don't know. I just feel like with as much time as it takes to put together one album, that means as soon as one's released, you're immediately back in the studio working on your second one. And I just don't feel like there's a lot of growth during that time. But I could be wrong because I'm not, a part of the whole music process. But it just feels really fast to me. And so I was turned off by that. I was at least hoping that she would wait till 2015, but whatever, I'm not her people. But yeah, so album came out. There are 3 versions of this freaking album. There's the standard version, which has 13 tracks. There's the deluxe version that has 15 tracks. And then there's the deluxe Target exclusive, which has 17 tracks. I have the deluxe with the 15 tracks. I haven't heard the 2 tracks on the Target exclusive. I'm not going to probably hear them unless I borrow someone's Target exclusive CD because I'm not buying it from Target. Yeah, so a little bit about the album in terms of just, the boring details. It was produced by various people, from Max Martin to Ariana Grande to Scooter Braun to Darkchild to, several others. Ryan Tedder is on there too. The songs, Ariana did have a small hand in writing some of the songs. So there's that. She gets a little bit of a writing credit. Let's see, Max Martin, David Guetta, Ryan Tedder, as I've mentioned, and the panty dropping Harry Styles from One Direction. Speaking of, guess where I will be tomorrow? In St. Louis at the One Direction concert, floor seating, VIP style. What? But back to Ariana. Good people, really, really talented, really, really highly gifted people were involved, in this album. So right off the bat, I'm like, go Ariana, go. So apparently the album came out on the 22nd of August in the UK. It came out, like I said, the 25th here, which was yesterday. So far, the critical or the reception of the album has been from mixed to positive. Like, there haven't been really outrageously negative reviews. But the positive reviews do say that, there is some growth, there's some maturity, she's a little bit more comfortable, and I agree with those statements. But some of the mixed reviews are saying things like, she's imitating, she still hasn't found her voice, it's still very unoriginal, there's no emotion behind, her songs. And I agree with those aspects too. So I'm just going to share with you my initial thoughts of the album. I've listened to it about 3 or 4 times now, so I think I have a pretty good grasp on what the sound is for me. Remember, this is my interpretation, this is my understanding, this is how I have received the album. You may receive it differently. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you will receive it differently, but as for me, this is what I thought. Let's start with the positive. There is definite growth on this album. This is not Cat from Sam and Cat. This is not Cat from Victorious. This is not Nickelodeon. She has grown. I hear the growth. There is no, Nickelodeon involved in this project, and I can hear that. I definitely like this album a lot better than her first one, whatever it was called. I can't remember what it's called. That one. It's going in the right direction. I definitely think that. I also am really excited about who she has featured on the album, from Childish Gambino to Big Sean to Zedd to Cashmere Cat, and there's a few other people. I'm not a huge fan of Iggy Azalea, but she did her thing on this album too. So I like the body of work. I like the artists that were involved in this. I think that was a really good diverse selection of artists on the part of the producers and Ariana and whoever else had a hand in selecting those artists. The ballads, the couple that are there on this album, are much better than the ballads on the first album. I felt like they showed a maturity to Ariana a bit more. She is growing. Granted, like I said, the girl was like 19, 20, and now she's 21. There's not a huge span, you know, between 19 and 21. Not much has happened, but, you know, whatever. I do like I said, I do like the ballads on this album more so than I do the first album. With that being said, though, segueing into the negatives, I do have some issues with those ballads. I still think that Ariana is trying too hard. I think that the ballads sometimes come off as a little impersonal. I don't feel any emotion. I can't connect to the songs through her voice. There's nothing emotive to me about her voice right now that makes me feel things. I feel like the only way I'm able to feel something from Ariana Grande's album is if I'm just reading the lyrics. I don't need her singing them because her voice is not an emotion-filled voice. It's very trained. And I've said this about Lea Michele too. There needs to be a balance of training and emotion, you know. It's kind of like dancing. You can have all the technique in the world, but if you don't bring the emotion forth through your dancing, it's not believable. And that's kind of how I feel about Ariana's vocal capabilities, period. It's very trained, very technique driven, but the emotion, I just never get it. And so that I struggle with that with her a lot. I feel like sometimes in her attempt to be pretty with her voice, she's very pretty with her voice. You know, all the nice runs and, you know, elongated notes and things like that. It's very nice, very pretty, but sometimes it can become a little too much and over the top, and I feel like she's kind of yelling, singing at me, and I'm like, we don't need that. And I feel like the dynamics of her voice are there. She's so talented, but then there are sometimes in songs where I'm just like, whoa, why is that happening? Why is that happening? Don't do that. Just make it breathy, you know. I don't know. It doesn't need to be so big and over the top all the time. And I don't want her to become known for stuff like that. She's already known for her highly skilled and trained voice. That's something to be known for. Great. I still can't stand it when people compare her to Mariah Carey. Totally different realms. This is Mariah Carey. This is Ariana Grande. Will she grow? Yes, she can. But Mariah has such emotion and power and depth to her voice, and Ariana has just a lot of technique, and so I need more when it comes to Ariana Grande, and that's what I'm waiting on. We're getting there. The second album is taking us in the right direction, so I have high hopes for that. Okay, this critique has just to do with the layout of the album. This album has no flow at all. There is just no flow to this album whatsoever. And it could have to do with the fact that there's just a mixture of genres. There's EDM, there's soul, there's pop, you know, there's fast songs, there's slow songs. It's just, there's no flow to it. And I don't know if you're able to lay out these songs in an order that have a really nice flow to it because the genres are so different and because she's dabbling in all these different arenas. But it was very disjointed to me, and it disrupted my musical experience. It really, really did. And when I listen to an album, I expect to be told a story. I expect to be taken on a journey, and there was no flow to this. I didn't find a story in this at all. It's just called my everything, and it's definitely everything. There's everything on this album, and it's in every kind of way. And so it was kind of hard for me to rest in a groove and just appreciate the journey, let the journey just flow and take me away. I couldn't do it. And so that could have to do with the mixing and mastering and whoever ordered, you know, arranged this album in the order that it was arranged in. I am not a fan. And then the final thing, you guys know this already, I say it all the time, her image. Ariana Grande is 21 years old, but she looks like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old trying to play dress up in mama's clothing. And it just bugs the shit out of me. That hairstyle. If you guys have seen the Break Free video, her hair looking like Goldilocks, and then the boobs with the missile shooting from the boobs, that almost felt inappropriate to me, because I'm like, from the neck up, you look like a 12-year-old girl who needs to be given a bedtime, you know, story, told a bedtime story, and from the waist down, you look like you're trying to be grown. And I don't feel like she knows who she is yet, or I don't feel like she has the right people whispering in her ear. I have heard the sob story about her hair being damaged and she's trying to grow her hair out. No, you can wear your hair down with your hair damaged. You can put layers of extensions or whatever. You can do stuff to your hair that makes it not that freaking ridiculous ponytail. I hate it so much. But her image overall is just still questionable to me. And I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. Let's get back to the positive. Let's get back to the positive, shall we? My favorite tracks on this album. I love the album. I'm going to put it out there. I enjoy the album a lot. But my favorite tracks are definitely One Last Time, Break Free. Break Free mainly because of Zed. I love Zed so much. Best Mistake with Big Sean, her boo thing, because MTV tells all your secrets. Be My Baby. I like that. Break Your Heart Right Back. Is that what it's called? Yes, I really like that. A Little Bit of Your Heart. That's because Harry Styles co-wrote. And You Don't Know Me, which I think is on the deluxe version of the album. I like the whole album, but those are songs that really stand out to me. I just really like. I really, really love Ariana's tone on Best Mistake. Is that what it's called? Yeah. It's so subdued, so sultry, so mellow. That is what I need more of from her. I need more of that from Ariana. It was beautiful. I just love her sound during that song. And I want more of that in the future. She doesn't need to go big all the time. She doesn't need that. Because when she goes too big, her voice sometimes becomes too trebly and too tinny. And I hate that. But Best Mistake, if you want an idea, if you ask me, hey Christina, what do you want Ariana's voice to sound like all the time, or what do you want more of? Listen to Best Mistake. That's what I want more of from Ariana. I don't really consider Bang Bang to be Ariana's song. It's Jessie J's song featuring Ariana and Nicki Minaj. So when Jessie J's album comes out in the US, I do have the UK version, but when it comes out in the US, I'll talk about Bang Bang in a more extensive manner. But I love Bang Bang. I think it's a triple threat to have all three of those women a part of that project. It's awesome. Speaking of Bang Bang, speaking of Ariana Grande, let's talk about the 2014 VMAs opening performance. It was Ariana, Nicki, then Jessie J, Ariana, Nicki. So Ariana opened the show with Break Free. Then Nicki came out with Anaconda, and then Jessie J came out with Bang Bang, joined by Ariana and Nicki. Ideally, that would have been perfect. Aesthetically, it would have been it was perfect aesthetically. Holistically, I didn't like it. Ariana isn't ready to open up a show like the VMAs. She's not ready to open up. If they have her open for the Grammys or anything like that, no. She's not ready for that kind of thing. People scare me when they throw people out in the limelight like this. Ariana has only been in the music scene like at the level she is now for like a year and a half. It hasn't been that long. And When she first came out, her performance skills were atrocious. She was a horrible live performer. Her vocals were always on point, but the rest of it was atrocious. She's not a dancer. Oh, her stage presence is horrible. And don't get me wrong, it's gotten better since the first time she's done it. It's gotten much better. She did okay at the VMAs. She did okay, but there were so many other artists there that could have done a way better job, could have done so much better, especially when you think about who closed the show. Freaking Beyonce closed the show, and you counter that with Ariana Grande opening. Granted, it went from, you know, it went in the right direction. You know, the end of the show was amazing versus the beginning of the show, and that's not insulting Ariana. That's just me saying she wasn't ready for it. I think that Ariana has so much talent, and she has so much growth. She needs to grow a little bit more. Her backup dancers have more life and stage presence than she does. And that's not good. That's not a compliment. She needs to pull that up. She needs to practice and focus more on her stage presence. Her voice is amazing. We know that. But entertain me, girl, with everything else. I don't want lights and lasers and props to do the entertaining. I want you to entertain me. And I just feel like when you're gonna open the VMAs, you need to do more than just have a pretty voice. And I was bored with her performance, to be honest. But then Jessie J came out and blew the house down with her attitude. And that's the thing I would say about Ariana. Ariana doesn't need to have the dancing down. She needs to have the attitude. And her cutesy, oh, I'm a cutesy sexy attitude is not gonna sell it for me. Jessie J came out and owned that stage. Hell, Nicki Minaj came out with a damn wardrobe malfunction, holding on for dear life, and still have more sex appeal and swag than Ariana Grande. I feel like Ariana Grande is just trying too hard and failing. And I need some of that sexiness from Jessie J and from Nicki to just kind of rub off on Ariana, so she can just, there's just a little bit more that needs to happen with Ariana before I'm just like, oh, you've arrived, you have done it. But yeah, that's what I think about Ariana as a whole. Back to the album review. I really enjoy this album. I think it is the perfect step in the right direction. I feel like she has the right people helping her. And yeah, the third effort better not come out next year. Her third album better not come out in 2015. I feel like the girl needs to take a break, grow some more, learn some new things, train, develop, whatever. New albums 2016 or later. That is when her third album should come out, in my opinion. But overall, this album I will give a B+. I will give this album a B+. I enjoy it. I think it's really, really good. Where'd my voice go? I've been constantly listening to it, and it is something that I will continue to listen to because it's a solid effort. It's definitely a solid effort. And yeah, so that's what I think. And keep in mind, as I've said already, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can disagree. It's totally fine. But just keep the comments, you know, respectful and peaceful and all that stuff. I would love to know what you think about the album. Just comment down below with your thoughts. Do you love it? Hate it? What do you think? I mean, and be honest. I mean, you can be a diehard Ariana Grande fan and still critique her efforts. Like, don't just be one of those fans that, oh, she does nothing wrong. She's absolutely amazing all the time. No. She needs to grow. So definitely critique her in an honest way, but in a way that's not disrespectful, you know? But yeah, B+ on the album. I enjoy it. It's awesome. Go pick it up. So yeah, that is it for New Music Tuesday. I am so glad to finally have another music video out for you guys. Music video out for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next video whenever that is. Okay, bye.